Hi, this is Serge.
And I'm Danielle, and we are Automb.
The meaning behind the name is basically a combination of two words, and the words are autumn and tomb. Basically talking about how autumn is the season of death, emphasizing on that. Chaosophy stands for chaos philosophy. It's our pagan perspective on the left-hand path. It talks about chaos being the primeval source for all creation, and of course, when everything dies, everything goes back to it. And we kind of emphasize the chaos theme throughout many cultures that we have used in the lyrics, but that will be talked about deeply in the next question. The lyrics talk about a lot of the death gods and death themes and end of the world themes through many cultures. We talk about Hinduism on this record, we talk about Egyptian gods, we talk about Norse and Slavic gods. We kind of try to take, the chaos death theme and use that, and a lot of it was also some personal views on it, as well as just, inspirations from bands like Dissection, who put out Reign Chaos, which was basically a huge inspiration for this whole idea of chaos propaganda. Instead of using Satanism as a tool, we use paganism. That's pretty much the only difference. So we kind of trying to continue on that path that they started.
Our album cover art was done by Nestor Avalos from Mexico. He's done artwork for Dark Funeral, Necronomicon, and we just thought, Bloodbath. We just thought that his artwork fit the music that we were portraying in the lyrics.
He focuses on a lot of the dark themes in metal. The idea behind the album cover is basically Baphomet coming out of chaos and cosmos to destroy all the planets.
It's been really great working with Witching Hour. They've released albums from bands like Behemoth, Vader, Hate, all bands that we look up to. So it's really just a privilege and an honor to be working with them.
Yeah, what she said, and we're also fans of Batyushka, and, Bart being the main guy from Witching Hour. It's definitely an honor.
Yes, I think it's very important to have a label deal. I mean, without it, you can do some of the stuff on your own, but really to get mass production and distribution, you really need a label to get you to those places that you really can't get on your own. So they have connects for distribution, and of course, producing the actual record is really important, and it's just a lot easier to have a label doing it for you and working with you.
And also to add to that, labels get you reviews of your album, and they just spread the word a lot more. I feel like they always would have more connections than you would on your own. So it's definitely important to have a label if you're trying to get somewhere with your band, even in this modern day. It's been a blast working with Scott. He's a good friend. This is the second record we've done with him. And, the process is pretty smooth. It's been fun. The only thing is the distance. He lives in Oregon and we live in Pennsylvania, so we weren't able to actually physically rehearse or, be there in the studio together. So we recorded in two different studios. But whenever he tours Morbid Angel, he comes through Pittsburgh, or we go out to see him wherever. We always hang out, and it's always a blast.
Yeah, so we actually had a tour planned for May 2020, but that obviously got canceled and got moved to October. But we ended up having to cancel pretty much every date except for 2. So we only played 2 shows out of the whole entire tour that we were supposed to have. But it is what it is. We're excited to get back out there when we can. And the last two shows that we played were actually really great for being COVID shows.
Overblast. We're not really involved with the local scene. We just play it everywhere else pretty much. We've only played maybe twice. We have a few friends. We also have used Mike from Victims of Contagion for live drums these past two shows in October. Victims of Contagion being a local band around here. It's like tech death. Really good stuff. They were actually our label mates on Such Enough Records back over on there. Yeah, good dudes. We've also have used Nick from Postmortal Possession, another local band. He's played a few shows with us back when we started out. There's also Leprosy, another band that's been around here for a long time. And yeah, I'm not really familiar with the new bands. A lot of the old bands I knew kind of broke off or faded away. I don't really like getting too political, but yes, Russia did invade my homeland and invaded my hometown, Lugansk. And my mom and my other family were there, and they were affected by all that. And there's a lot of scary moments, and I'm glad they're actually out of the war zone right now. But yeah, I'm hoping Lugansk becomes Ukraine again. And of course, I hope so for Crimea as well. But we shall see. I met Killjoy Man from Necrophagia at a Take show. My old band actually opened up, and he liked my drumming. He came up, and I instantly recognized who he was because I was a huge Necro fan. And he basically said he needed a drummer for Haxon, which was an old school black metal project that he was trying to do at the time. And we swapped numbers. Next thing you know, I was jamming with Haxon. Then after that, I got the call to do Necro, and I literally had like 2 weeks to learn like 13 songs to then play a show right after that, so that was a blast. I've definitely learned a lot from, touring. Necro was the first band I ever toured with. Being in Europe on the tour bus and all that, it was definitely a huge experience, a huge learning experience. It definitely paved the way for what I do with Automb. Especially with studio stuff, I spent a lot of time demoing songs with Necro, and I've acquired a lot of skills. I feel like I fine-tuned my ear. Killjoy was always pushing me to hear things that you can't always hear the first listen. Just basically picking up on certain vibrations that no one can hear, and trying to get everything straightened out and make it sound good. Fails. I don't think we've had any epic fails other than amps going out and pedals actually catching on fire one time. Just average stuff, nothing too serious.
I've been listening a lot to Tomb Mold. I just recently discovered them. They're awesome. Also this band called Extremity. They have like this old school death metal sound. And this isn't new, but it's the re-release of Necro Demon Terror Saffron by Belphegor, which has been like really sick. It's super heavy, and the remastering just makes it modern, but still like that raw Black Death sound. Sick.
I listened to the new Necrophobic album. I think that's probably the best album of 2020. I've been playing it a lot. And also the new double album from Cult of Fire. I pretty much overplayed the shit out of that. That's great 2 releases. Not sure what else came out this year. I don't think there really was that much. Unfortunately, that's about it. Maybe Gate Creeper. I guess that came out the end of last year. That's pretty much the only new things that I've been listening to, other than my favorites and all the old shit.
I think it's going to make a lot of venues closed. I think promoters are also kind of giving up because main people in the business are saying, oh, it's done till 2022, and then others are like, well, it's okay if you have certain restrictions and whatnot. I think a lot of bands are also calling it quits in a ways where they're just giving up on touring or shows and just focusing on like live streaming shows and events, which is okay, but I feel like it would be better if people still had hope because there is plenty of opportunities. Like we already played 2 shows. So I think people just need to have more hope in the situation that this isn't forever.
Right, I could totally agree with what she said, and to add to that, basically, you know, there's still ways around it. Countries like Germany are still having tours or having festivals. I'm pretty sure Belfagor and Vader tours like this fall. There's definitely ways around it. The US has kind of given up on it. Europe's still kind of pushing for it. Of course, this is gonna change stuff for the next 3 years, but it's also gonna help the music scene because in rough times, people are more likely to go to metal for, you know, some sort of, you know, haven and just some sort of strength. And it's only gonna make everybody more hungry for live shows. And whenever, you know, the gates will open, there's gonna be a flood of metalheads going at every show, buying all the merch, you know. And, I mean, I'm gonna be doing the same stuff myself, you know, spend all my money on t-shirts and records and, you know, just worship your metal gods.
Mm-hmm. So our future plans right now, we're really just working on a couple of music videos. We have one that's almost done that we're really close to showing everyone. And then we're hopefully going to work on one very soon, additional one. So that's really all we have going on.
Yeah, we're talking to our agency about possible touring May, so that's of course everything is allowed again, or we follow some sort of laws and guidelines that make it happen. Not sure yet if that falls through, then October 2021. Other than that, that's everything. I want to thank all the fans for watching this. I want to thank Antichrist magazine for making this happen. I want to thank all our labels, all our friends, our manager, our booking agency. Without you, we wouldn't be able to do anything. Thank you so much.
Thank you.